Going back to the hospital at night, Natasha, dressed, sneaks into the hospital elevator. It's just as dim as it was in her dream, and no one is around. The clock on the wall, it reads 2:55 a.m.
I'm not really sure why I decided to sneak up to the fifth floor in the middle of the night.
Natasha enters the elevator. The doors close as the night shift nurse returns to her desk with a cup of coffee. Natasha presses the button on the fifth floor. The doors open, and Natasha is surprised to see Chris.
Jeez, you scared me half to death!
Sorry about that, Natasha.
Natasha exits the elevator and walks with Chris down the hall.
How do you know me?
I was on my way to see you. I didn't think you were going to show. Come on, let's talk in my room. The orderly will be back any second.
Who are you, and...
Chris and Natasha enter the room. She sits on the bed, and Chris closes the door.
My name is Chris Hughes. I had a cancerous tumor in my brain. I was brought here for an experimental procedure. The day of my operation, 3 months ago, there was a huge accident outside the hospital. The survivors were brought here. I know Dr. Precipicus worked on your head to save your life. After the incident, I started to see this little Chinese boy wherever I went. First in my dreams and then in this room. He told me that he wanted us to meet.
Oh my god, you seen him too? At first I thought I was crazy seeing him all over the place, but no one else did. But then, the other day during physical therapy, he actually spoke to me. That's when I knew he was a ghost. But then I had this crazy dream where you told me to come here.
And I had the same dream. Well, it felt like a dream.
Okay, we met. Now what?
I'm not sure. He told me that you didn't know what to do.
Natasha gets up and throws her hands up in the air.
Great. That's just great. So you're telling me that some ghosts wanted us to meet for some reason?
I don't think he's a ghost.
And what is he?
Just then, there's an explosion across the street. A body comes crashing through the window and lands on the bed when Natasha was just sitting, crushing the bed. Natasha and Chris are thrown to the floor, and they look at the now destroyed bed. The body turns out to be a burnt to a crisp Duronian.
What the hell is that?
It looks like a body. It's a good thing you moved when you did.
Yeah, lucky me.
Moving forward, Natasha enters the floor of her apartment for the first time in months. Carrying her mail, she sees a notice on the door. It reads, "Dear Miss Ash, we've been trying to contact you regarding your past due rent. Please contact us as soon as possible. Management." Natasha opens the door and walks into her apartment. Inside the apartment, Natasha turns on the TV. The same reporter from the accident is on.
Live from the Okasa Gallery, where a violent explosion last night took the life of a security guard. Police have yet to find the mysterious red diamond, which has been on display for 3 months. Foul play is not being ruled out. An interesting side note, this reporter was nearly killed not too far away from the explosion where one of the city's deadliest multi-car crashes in recent history happened. Many locals are starting to call this area cursed. Join me for a special report on this tonight at 6. Back to you, Jim.
Natasha starts to go through her mail, but she is interrupted by a bright light coming from her bedroom. She slowly approaches the half-open door.
If there's a ghost in there, please don't kill me.
She pops her head into the bedroom.
Well, it's not a ghost.
Natasha sees King Brigand with the sixth fragment in his hand, glowing brightly than ever before, pointing right at Natasha. He is smiling.
Lucky me.
There you have it, folks. That is part 4 of the radio play for Designated. Mark, I got to admit, I really enjoyed all this. It was a lot of fun. I know that you're about to head off into C2E2 territory.
Yes,
So
I
go
am.
ahead, give them your spiel, let everybody know what's going on. You know, we'll let you do your stuff and then let you go.
So that was part 4. The entire book was done as a radio play, adapted by filmmaker Lee Kalinsky. It's a comic book, which I have here, my proof. It's actually existing. It exists right now, right here physically, so you guys can pre-order your copy today. It's a staff pick on Crowdfunder. It's set in the 90s because I wrote it 30 years ago in the 90s. And it's about these guys right here, who get mixed up in a war between two alien races fighting over a newly discovered power source, and that war comes to Earth, and these people get special abilities. So it's a 110-page story, but this is only the first issue. We need more support to get the rest of the issues out, but the first one exists. Here it is right here. I got my proof. They will go to the printer, and I will have them next month. So yeah, just donate if you can. If not, share it around. I would greatly appreciate it.
Mark, how did it feel to finally get that book into your hand? It's been 30 years.
It's nice. It's really nice. It's 30 years and 2 weeks because it took extra time from when we had the deadline for the printer to when it actually came, because it was some back and forth, small issues, that the technical aspects that the printer needed, and I know nothing about technology, so I had to send it to my graphic designer, Abby Gabato, who's done most of my work. She actually helped edit that video,
Mhm.
and she lives in the Philippines, so we lose a day every time there's a back and forth.
That's right. I remember you telling us that, if you have to explain something, you have to wait, send it, wait.
Yep.
Then he sends it, then you wait, then you send it.
Yep.
That's a lot of work.
But it is done, so that's the happy part. This is finally a thing. It exists. Here it is. So when you go on, you'll know that you will be able to get your copy. We also have two different covers. So this is the Francesco version, and then we have the Russ Braun, who draws for the boys. He's a great artist. I've known him for 100 years, and he managed to pull out that one for me. I really appreciate it.
I know you picked it up at Big Apple Con this weekend.
Yeah.
I was supposed to see you Sunday, but stuff happened over here in the house. But it was great to see what you were doing Sunday when you put up all your pictures.
Yeah, it was. I can't believe how good it looks, and then obviously it's a 11 by 17 piece of artwork, which I would love to keep, but I got to make some money back for printing and covers and costs. So it's up on the site. So if you're interested in that, we only have the one original. It's on the crowdfunder, and we also have the original pages from the comics. So we have 23 pages of a comic for the book. Available, the all inked by Peter Palmiotti, inker. That is most famous for doing Aquaman. He's a Marvel, DC independent inker, but he's most famous for doing Aquaman when Peter David's run when he got his hand chopped off. So yeah, we have issues and pages and stuff. It actually physically exists. So this is what you're going to get. It is black and white, 22 pages, but all these pages are available as original artwork. And the only thing is that we have an extra page here. So this is the 23rd page. So it only has 22 pages. This is page number 23.
That looks like a comic book.
That's pretty good.
It does look like a comic book. It's awesome.
Exactly, man. Dude, I can see how excited you are. I can see the passion there. And people, come on. This is what we're looking for. I put the link into the comments there. Go support this book. Mark is doing pretty decently, but he can do better. So come on, let's get him up there. Let's see if I can put this up here so you guys can see it.
And if you're interested in the rest of the play, all the other 3 parts are on the website. And probably when I get to Chicago or I get back from C2E2, I'll put the 4th one on. But it will be on our YouTube page. So if in case you missed it here, you can go see it there.
There you have it, folks. Go check out the YouTube page, and you can see all 3 parts until Mark gets back from C2E2.
Yep, but even on the crowdfunder, there's a tab that says Radio Play. You can hit that, and it'll take you right there. You can see it all as well.
Mark's at $1,039. He has 42%. I'm sorry, you're doing pretty good. You're almost at 50%.
Yeah.
16 contributors, 10 days to go. 10 days is a lot of days, folks. Come on, let's get him to his goal and give him a little bit of leeway there so he can keep putting these books out.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of this stuff, is to put it out and keep putting it out.
We want to make a part 2, part 3, part 4, and part 5. We want to get it colored. There's a lot of things to get done, but the important thing of this experiment with crowdfunder was just to make sure we got it out finally.
True. And I can see that what you were saying was true, because you were saying, like, the last time you were on the show, that this was going to happen no matter what. And by the fact that it's in your hand, you weren't kidding. This is happening no matter what.
That is correct. And another thing, also on Crowdfunder, for you people living in the New York area, Long Island area, it has the ability that you can pick up the book. So if I'm going to be at 3 conventions, so you can just come to me at a convention and I order the book and I go, here's your book, instead of paying for shipping. So you don't have to pay for shipping. It's an option on there, which is kind of cool.
I wonder if I can fix that, because I think when I put it in, I wasn't paying attention to any of that stuff.
Too late. I already got paid. No refunds.
Well, I'll pick it up from you. You don't have to send it.
I'll give you the Gemini box so you can have it.
It's a souvenir. Oh my God. Oh, Mark, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Can't wait to see what you guys are going to do at C2E2. What are your plans? I know
basically
you're
what I
probably
do at
after something.
every single convention. I'm going to take as many pictures as possible of the independent guys, Artist Alley. I'm going to try to cover a couple panels, and something I haven't done in a while. I'm probably going to do a diary at the end of every day to say, okay, I did this, I did that, and then we'll obviously play it on the show at a future date, because we are a weekly show, and all the shows are already recorded for right now for the foreseeable future.
So you're going to be like Captain's Log, Mark Torres, C2.
Mm-hmm. Yep, C2E2 day 1. I did this. I met this person. This was kind of cool. This was nice. Pictures are on our Facebook page.
And you tag me. Every anime artist you take a picture of.
I'll do my best. Or you can just go look
exactly.
and tag it yourself.
Yeah, it came from the radio.
Maybe do extra work.
I can't ever find any of the It Came From the Radio stuff unless it's posted by you or Ralph.
You don't have Facebook?
Yeah, he tells me all the time. That he's on Facebook, but he tells me all the time, dude, is it Came From the Radio posting anything? Like, he posts all the time. They're constantly talking about
I could go over to your guys' page and I don't see anything. And I've shown Ralph this.
Do you follow?
I've shown him my page live. I go there and it's like there's nothing there. Ralph goes on his page, he sees everything.
Everything.
It's a setting. You gotta change the settings. You gotta follow and subscribe and like and all that other stuff. I don't know. I have no idea.
Algorithms.
Algorithms. All right, folks. Mark, we'll let you go so you can start getting ready. I gotta see what happened with Dennis, because he's like, okay, and he hasn't shown up yet. So
shout out to Dennis. It's a good guy. Hopefully he'll be there. If not, you two enjoy yourselves. And I guess I will talk to you when I get back.
We look forward to when you get back, Mark.
You will look forward to it.
We'll have a nice screen here waiting for you to hop in.
I was about to say, next Wednesday, you're more than welcome to come and
I'll be dead.
Talk about C2E2.
I'll be very tired. I'm driving all the way, so I'm very tired.
If anything, you'd always stop by Jordan's house and do the stream from there.
That's right. Jordan lives down by Ohio.
Yeah. Oh, cool. All right, guys. So I have to run. I'll see you in a week. Have a good one.
Good travels.
Bye.
Well, there you
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mark Torres from It Came From the Radio. You can go see their live show every Wednesday on their channel. It Came From the Radio.
You know, I love saying It Came From the Radio. It always feels like we're on the radio when we're saying It Came From the Radio.
It's almost like we were in conjunction with It Came From the Radio.
Oh, we are. We still are. We're partners. It's been like that for a long time, and I still thank Mark, because we wouldn't be where we are now if it wasn't for him.
Man. So would you say we are what came from the radio?
Wow, you're right. We are what came from the radio. There we have it. Phil Russert is still 45 hours to go. Folks, you got to go support Phil Russert's Withered. It has 45 hours to go. It's not showing me where the funding is. Oh, I'm having a computer glitch over here. Okay. Do I got to refresh you? Is that what it is?
Maybe.
There we go. Everything showed up, right? Yeah, he's at 1945, 48 backers, 45 hours to go. Come on, folks. Let's get him to 2,000. He still got 45 hours. We can do it. We can get him to 2,000. I think, 2 or 3 people pledging would get him over there? Or if you hit one of the higher tiers, 1 pledge would get him over?
I don't think so. I think it's probably 3.
I was thinking 3 too. All right, let me well play the video here and go see what happened to Dennis. All right, here we go.
Imagine you're on your deathbed and discovered a horrible reality. Time is not a construct of the human mind, nor is it a measurement, but a malevolent being that slowly feeds off our life essence over decades. You once thought you were going to pass into the warm embrace of God in heaven, just to discover you'll be consumed by that which shall never be satiated. All is not lost. Archangel Michael and his brethren recruit those deemed worthy to serve in God's army against the forces of evil that serve the great beast. God has been imprisoned, and the devil leads the armies of evil to wipe out the angels, as they are the last hope for God and humanity.
There you have it, folks. That's Withered Ghost. Support Phil Russell's book. It is. I got a chance to read issue 1. It is a really well written story. If you like angels and demons, it's right up your alley. And at the same time, it's not your normal angels and demon book. So go give it a check out. I really give it a good 2 thumbs up. It was a very good story. Amazing art from our friend Will Playden, who does just beautiful work. And now I'm going to bring in, of course, our friend here, Dennis Knight. How are you doing, Dennis?
Good. How are you?
Oh, we're doing pretty good here.
Good. Happy to hear that.
You had me worried there for a second.
You know what? I was waiting backstage and I forgot to click the button to actually join the studio. So I'm just sitting around. I've been on since like 10 o'clock waiting.
I was wondering. We're here like, okay, he should be here soon. All right, so Dennis, go ahead. Tell everybody who you are, what you do. Give them the spiel of all the beautiful Dennis Knight stuff.
Okay, I'm a comic book writer and editor with Pronto Comics. I've been in the industry for about 10 years now. Done a lot of work with Comic Book School. I've done a lot of panels, New York Comic Con. I've done Modesto Con in California a couple of times, Mocha Fest a couple of times. I do a lot of in-store appearances and conventions. That's mostly like, how I get around. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Dude, man, it's funny. I wanted to ask you, because especially since you've been working with Pronto Comics for a long time, when you guys started, it was a little more difficult to do comics. Pronto was where you needed to go. You needed to go over and pitch to you guys to see if you guys would take the comic and make it into something. But now it seems like Kickstarter has taken what you guys were doing and made it a little broader and easier.
Well, the thing is like, what I want to say is, it is, I guess not easier is not the best word I would use, is like, it's more accessible now.
Yeah.
Everybody makes comic books now. They get crowdfunding, they do a Kickstarter, they put a team together, and they make it. So, more power to them, man. If you're crazy enough to do it, I say Godspeed.
And I agree with you. It's not easier.
Terrible. This is
it's above easier. Like we just talking to Mark Torres, because he's doing his book Designated, and sometimes it crawls, and you're trying to get this book done, and especially like on crowdfunder, it's a little easier because he gets paid for every book. It's almost like a pre-order instead of like in Kickstarter, where you need to get to a certain point and then the money, then you get the money. You don't even get the money until the whole thing is done.
Right. It's rough, man. Like, anybody who does Kickstarter, like, I tip my hat to them, man, because it's like a full-time job. You have to promote it. You have to have your tiers all set up. Update your backers constantly. It's a lot of work, man.
I completely agree, and we've already helped a couple of people with the Kickstarters, and it's just a lot of work. Yeah. It's constantly pushing, especially if you're not funded. Once you fund, you get to relax a little bit, but even then, you still got to keep pushing.
You got to stretch goals and trying to get a little more for whatever comes up along the way. It's, man, God bless them. I don't have it in me, man.
It's funny though, because the other reason I was thinking about Pronto is because I feel like Pronto is in a place now where this is a good place for Pronto to continue itself into the next generation here. What do you think?
I think there's a lot of talent out there, but unfortunately, a lot of people don't know where to go. They don't know how to get started. So
Mhm.
it's like, someone like, Pronto and other like indie publishers who do like create their own work. They kind of like, give them the olive and say, okay, this is what you
Exactly.
do,
Mhm.
or this is how talk to this person. They know a lot about what you're trying to do. It's like, because it's a community, like everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
Like you look at my Facebook friends, we all know the same people.
Oh yeah, that bugs me out. It's so funny because like I'll look at as soon as somebody asks me to be friends, I'm like, okay, they know everybody else I know.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe I should make them friends.
Yeah. It's okay. Another person knows all the same people I know. Okay, let's do it.
And it's totally true. It's like a huge community, but at the same time, it's small.
It's a small sandbox.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody, so you really can't mess around. You really can't mess up. Because once you're a bad person to work with, it's a wrap. You will never work again in this business ever.
Yeah, because that spreads like wildfire.
All it takes is one beer at a bar, and it is over for you. It's a wrap.
So you were able to start getting your books done from way before this, and you've got what 1 or 2 books it is.
I have Cross is still in print. I have like issue 6 is in print. I'm still
Mhm.
waiting for issue 7. The artist is like had some setbacks. I could think at one point there was water damage to the actual pages, so I had to start all over
Ooh.
again.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like a pencil and ink kind of guy. Like he does the scans after he does, but he does everything by hand first.
Yeah.
So if you can imagine, that wealth of work just like gone because water damage. It was like a rainstorm or something crazy happened.
That's just horrible, man.
Dude, I cried.
That's a lot of work.
Because he sent me an email like, "Hey man, sorry to tell you, but pages got damaged. I have to start all over again." I was like, "No," but it's life. So what are you going to do? I have some other projects that I'm working on right now. I'm actually working with Strange World Comics.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Strange, Anthony Cruz, and Travis Ware. Anthony Cruz is a penciler and artist. Travis is the letterer, and Jeff Strange, he's like the mastermind. He's like he has the idea, and I'm actually writing the script. So we're actually going to have a crowdfunder campaign set up really, really soon. Probably I think next month.
Also, you're using crowdfunder just like Mark Torres.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was talking to Jeff maybe 2 weeks ago. Because yeah, man, you know anything about crowdfunding? So I know it's a fundraising platform. I don't know much about it. So he really looked into it. He liked it because the thing with Kickstarter is Kickstarter is great and is more well known.
Right.
But the thing with Kickstarter is if you don't reach your goal, you don't get anything.
Exactly.
So it's all that hard work and whatever money we invested in rewards and all that stuff is out the window.
We know it.
Kickstarter is well known, but it's still risky too. So it's I'm really excited to give this crowdfunding thing a try because it seems like it's less risk than a Kickstarter. So I'm open to that.
Yeah, I know Mark is really happy with crowdfunder right now. It's I gotta admit it's easy to use. You don't have to sign up to buy the book. You can just buy the book, so it makes life a little easier. Because with Kickstarter, you have to sign, become a member of Kickstarter so you can buy it, so you can support what needs to be supported. We had Mark Torres on when he released the book, and I was able to just jump on while we were talking and just buy the book.
Right.
That's so much easier than.
Yeah, sure, of course.
So that's a good thing. I see a lot of benefits from crowdfunder.
Yeah.
Like you said, unlike Kickstarter, where you have to get to a certain point, and then you get your money, which is it's funny because then what some people do is they put a lower funding so they can fund, and then they have to push to get to where they need to go.
Right. It's very tricky. It's I don't know. I've been around for a long time. I still haven't figured out Kickstarter. It's there's so many nooks and crannies and tricks of the trade, and even with people actually there's a full job. For people to run your Kickstarter for you, that's a whole job.
Yeah, it is.
So it's crazy to me. So hey,
because now you got people who actually help you out. You got people you talk to about Kickstarter. They can help you with the Kickstarter. You got people who help you set up your Kickstarter.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
Oh yeah. dude, that but again, if it's all like paying people and getting things done, and sometimes it's worth it because trying to figure it out yourself is like
yeah, sometimes it's better if you have the money. I say like pay somebody to help you out because it's a lot of work. It's a big, huge learning curve too, especially your first Kickstarter. Oh my God help you. It's a lot.
That's why we usually send people to Kat Kalamaya because she knows all the ins and outs, and she's actually working to get those Kickstarters out there. So you pay her, and she'll help you out.
Right.
Oh man, it's an interesting time, because it's easier, but at the same time it's way more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, because think about when it was just like Marvel and DC making comic books. Like if you want to make comics, you had to go through them, and that was it.
Exactly.
Now there's all these different avenues. People like they're doing web comics, they're doing stuff for their own, they're self-publishing. So there's different avenues to get your comic book out, which I think is a great thing.
I agree. And this is the time to be in because you can actually get your book done. Yeah, like I know you remember. You just said it right now. When we were younger, it's like we had to figure out how to get into Marvel and DC. And then you were working with their stuff, and if you used your stuff while you were working with their stuff, they owned the rights to everything.
Yep, terrible place to be.
Exactly,
it's rough.
Which is why you got a lot of creators now like all upset because Marvel owns the rights to a lot of their stuff.
It's sad, man, because like a lot of these guys, like they created like iconic characters that are on the movies now, and like they get maybe a credit, and that's it. That's all they get.
Yeah, if they're lucky. Because some of them don't even get a credit.
Man, they have to fight tooth and nail, man. I remember Jim Starlin, like this whole Thanos thing. It took a long time for him to get credit for Thanos with the movies. It took forever.
Which is horrible because and one of the reasons that you get into comics is because you want to make your own comics.
Exactly.
And back then it was really hard because you could go the independent route, but it was much more difficult back then. If you were lucky, somebody like Pronto Comics who would actually, oh, come on, we'll help you out.
Yeah, man, it's rough. The only person, like one of the people I respect a lot is Todd McFarlane.
Right.
Because he worked with the big guys, and then he started his own thing with Image with Spawn. And now, like back then, that was like unheard of. Yeah. Wait, you leaving Marvel to do your own thing? Or are you crazy? A lot of people thought he was nuts. I was like, wow, man.
Oh yeah, I remember they were looking at the Image people going, you guys are gonna fail.
And it was at the time, it was like a lot of heavy hitters like Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, Jim Shooter, a whole bunch of those guys. Like, it was crazy.
And then, lo and behold, surprise! They started making money. And then Marvel and DC got really, really nervous.
Oh yeah, but I think what Todd what saved him was the toys. That really, really helped back his bank. Because his toys are freaking beautiful, man, and they're expensive, but they're worth it. Because he put so much care into it.
The other thing with Todd was that he actually kept his schedule.
Yeah.
A lot of those early guys, as soon as they started making their money, they were like, what schedule?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, you gotta be disciplined. You gotta the thing also, like, we're doing your own thing, you have to I give myself deadlines all the time.
Right.
So if I don't give myself deadlines, I never get it done. Because I'll watch a movie, I'll play video games. Like, wait a minute, I got a comic book to write and kind of get on it,
Well, that's definite, and if you don't give yourself deadlines, or if you don't take it as a job, you're gonna really drag your feet on things.
Yeah, because it's like your own. It's like a blessing and a curse. I get to make my own comic book, but then it's like you have to set your own schedule, or you don't.
Yeah, and then you also have that. The other thing you're competing against is the fact that as soon as you make your own comics, people are like, "Oh my God, well, he's already successful." I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
What? I wish, man.
That's like they look at a Kickstarter and they're like, "Oh, well, we don't need to support this because they already made it." I'm like, no, the Kickstarter is so you can make the comic.
Exactly.
If you're lucky, the person has already made the comic and you'll get it like right away as soon as the Kickstarter is done.
Yeah, I've seen that before. Like they'll produce a comic book themselves and just like they'll do the Kickstarter, they get their money back, and like this on the comic, which is not too bad. They just have to have that little nest egg to get started up front,
That's like with speaking of the whole concept, Mark just showed off the finished print of his designated book, and he kept telling people, even when the Kickstarter, the book is drawn, is written, it's all that stuff is done. We just need to get the money to get it to the printers. And I think now Mark got tired of that and decided, well, I'm going to print this thing out, you guys need to help me out and buy the books. This way I can help pay for the printing, but it's already
Right.
paid for, and you already get the book. As soon as you put your order in, he was like, it's a pre-order because the book is made.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense though to do it that way, you know.
Yeah, because and then the audience already knows they're gonna get what they're gonna get.
Right.
Because usually what ends up happening, especially with Kickstarters, is that you're helping them make the comic.
Right.
You know, that's what the money is for. To pay for the writers, to pay for the artists, to pay for
Sure.
all the people that need to be paid in order to make the book happen.
Right.
And that's a lot of work. It is.
Man.
It's a whole lot of work. It's a lot. I think people think when they think comics, they think, oh, there's like one person or two people involved, but that's not what the case
No,
is.
it's like a whole team, man.
Yeah.
Well, I've met Triple Threats before. Like they do everything themselves. But it's like those guys, God bless them, but it takes them like a year and sometimes longer to get one book out because they're doing everything themselves. It's crazy.
Dude, I'm always like, I wish I could draw, and I'm the writer, so I wish I could draw, and then I can do both. But then I watch my friends who do both, and then you're right, it takes them about a year, if a year, at least a year. Sometimes they can do it in 6 months, but that's freaking killing yourself.
Yeah, because you still need to sleep, and then you're probably working a day job on top of that, so it's like there's no time for yourself. It's crazy.
Yeah, because that's the other myth there is the fact that he's making comics, so that's probably all he does now.
What? I wish, man. I don't have a day job. I'll be writing comic books on a cardboard box under the train, man.
Exactly. I think that a lot of people just need to get those little misconceptions out of their head and just realize, if I'm on a Kickstarter, I need help.
Exactly. I'm broke. That's why I'm on Kickstarter. I need the money.
And especially here when we're talking about Kickstarters, like we were just talking about Phil Rush's Kickstarter. We're like, dude, get him to funding. That doesn't mean that that's where they need to be, because most of the people will put their funding lower so they can fund. They still need more money to get the book out.
Yeah, sure, man.
At least try to double the person's money, at least.
Yeah, man. But Phil is great. I love Phil. I talk to Phil all the time,
fantastic.
and he's constantly he's like one of the hardest working men I know. He's constantly working. He's always like telling me he's got something new in the works. He'll send me stuff to look at. He's great, man.
Dude, he's pretty much starting his own publishing company.
Yeah, I talked to him I think I talked to Phil last week. As a matter of fact, I talked to him more than I talked to anybody else. He's like, it's crazy. Yeah, he's always working on something. I love that about him. He's always constantly posting stuff. I love that about him. And I checked out the Tragedy is because I met Phil.
I love Tragedy.
I want to say it was when the first Comic-Con from COVID. I met him there, and I actually bought a copy of Tragedy. And I was like, wow, this is it was a really well-made book. I was very, very impressed. And now I'm looking out for everything that he does now. It's he's very good. He's very good at what he does.
Dude, I am really impressed with his writing. He does a great job at writing a story, putting it together. It's a well-written, well-drawn comic book, and that's like an oxymoron these days.
I mean, and the thing with Phil also that I like is he knows he's not just a bum off the street. He knows people, knows
exactly.
Big people, people exactly. I wish I knew,
Oh, dude, man, he knows how to get things done. He knows how to work people. He knows how to schmooze people. Dude, and then he's also helping the industry itself because he tries to get people. He just had a contest recently where you take if you won, you got 10 pages in the back of his book to showcase your book. And I got together with Russ from Game of Tunes, and we did our own little story. Yeah. And we didn't win, but he liked us so much that he's going to put us in one of his anthology books that he's coming out.
That's cool.
Soon. Yeah, which is great, man, because it gives people a chance. Because sometimes as writers, as artists, you don't have the money to fund a comic,
right? And then how do you go about getting your work out there if you don't have the money to make your own comic?
Exactly.
It's very, very hard.
Yeah, because I've told Phil before, dude, I would like to do something, but it's just me, and I'm kind of broke at the moment, so getting somebody to do the art for a book is not up my alley, right?
Exactly, it's hard, man. It's tough.
Oh man, yeah, and again, it goes back to the whole what we've been saying. It's just so much money to finish creating your passion. Look at our Mark Torres. It took he created. It came from the radio, so he can get his comic book done, and it's taken him 30 years to get.
I believe it, man. It's rough. People, and it's that kills me because it's like, I do interviews like, oh man, it's so easy. You make comic books, me too. No, you don't. No, you don't. Do not say that to me because it makes you upset because it's like people are like, oh, well, I don't have an artist yet, or I don't have anything scripted yet, but I make comic books. No, you don't.
No, you have to have the scripted. You have to have the stuff.
You have to have something, man. It's like people like they pitch me ideas like, bro, I don't want an idea. Like, give me a script, give me something. Do you have a team? Do you have anything?
That's one of the things I remember when we were trying to pitch some stuff to Pronto, and what we wanted to do was walk in there with at least 5 pages of art and something to show, instead of just the synopsis and the pitch.
Right.
Because that shows people that you're serious about what you're doing.
Yeah, you're moving, you're making progress, you're moving forward. Even if it's not fully complete, at least you have something. I'd rather that than just someone like blowing my ear. Hey man, I have this idea about this guy. He's a warrior. No, go away. Go away that way. I don't need
that. We hear you talking, but we don't see no action.
Exactly. You know what the cons are like. Everybody's like somebody. Everybody wants to talk to you. Everybody wants to pitch you. Like, yo, come on, man. If you're gonna pitch me, at least have something. Don't just blow smoke.
Speaking of which, since we're here talking about this, and somebody's out there probably going, okay, I want to do something. So if somebody was trying to put a pitch together for a comic book because maybe they don't want to go the Kickstarter route and they're trying to like schmooze Pronto or Image or somebody, what would your advice be?
Know who you're pitching to, because some publishers only put out certain kinds of stories.
That's true.
So do your homework first before you even approach anybody. Make sure you have a list. Okay, if this guy does sci-fi, I have a sci-fi story. I'm going to talk to him about sci-fi. Just categorize who you're going to talk to, know what you're pitching. Also, elevator pitch. You can't have 10 minutes to talk to somebody about your idea. Short, sweet, to the point.
And that's important, true, because I've been working on my synopsises for ages now, and it's an art. It's also something that takes time for you to actually figure out how to talk about your comic.
Right.
I think that the conventions actually helps some artists and writers figure out their pitches, because there they have to get the attention really quick.
It has to be streamlined. It has to be quick.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And that's how you have to do the pitches when you're going in to one of the bigger companies.
Of course, yeah, sure.
I think that stopped me a couple of times because I've had an opening in with certain companies for a couple of times, and either the artist I was working with would decide, well, I'm going to take my time because I'm not getting paid for this, and I'm like, dude, we have an audience. You don't take your time.
Yeah, it's rough because it's like artists want to get paid. I totally get that, and they should get paid. At the same time, everybody has different financial situations. Like, they have like sometimes it's a partnership. Like, listen, we get on, then we split the money 50-50. It's not the most ideal situation, but it happens,
Especially if you're getting an in, and that's what I would say. We're getting an in, and they're like, well, whatever. I'm like, you know what?
Very frustrating. I see both sides of it. I see the artist's point of view, the creator's point of view.
Oh, I completely understand. And that's why, with me, I've been working on my Hugwork comic book for a while. Right. I've been working a couple other comic books for a while, and if I don't have the money, I'm not going to tell an artist to start working.
Right.
So I'll just like slowly get to where I'm going, and build up the money so I can give it to the artist, and then we can move forward. Right. But that makes the comic book building process even longer.
Yeah. I mean, I would say my best advice to give you as far as that though, as you're building, promote your comic book also, so you have an audience ready for when you finish completing it.
That's what I started doing with Hugwork, my teddy bear superhero. Yeah. I talk about him all the time. I talk about him on the show. We had Shadow Rabbit make me a model of the.
Yo, he's so dope. Like, I don't know how he does it. I actually see him make the figures in front of me, and his hands are so quick. Amazing. How do you do that? It's crazy. Cool dude though. I love that guy.
Oh, Shadow's fantastic, amazing. He's our Bob Ross.
100%.
Yeah, so you're right though. That's what you start doing. You keep talking about it, and you keep talking about it until you make it happen.
Yeah, you build the fan base. The best sales advice I can give you: make the people want something that they can't have.
Exactly.
So when it's ready, Oh, 'cause I remember when I was working on Cross, I told everybody about it. Anybody who would listen, I would talk to them about it.
Same thing.
I had I had to look a little folder because I had computer printer pictures of the artist's artwork. So it was like a comic book, but it was like in a folder. So I
Right.
walk around with it and I would show people. They're like, wow, this is great. Where can I buy it? You can't buy it yet because I'm not finished. I'm working on it.
That's
So
what
I
happens.
finally got it published by Pronto, and I had a signing at this bar. I sold 30 comic books in one night.
Yeah, see,
Because everybody who I talked about it, they came and they bought a copy because we were waiting for it.
that's the same thing that's happening with Hugbert. Like I talk to people about Hugbert, and they go, "Oh my god, I like that." When can I get it? Well, it's gonna take me some time to make it, but I'll let you know as soon as
I'm
I
working on it. Like, don't you assure them that you're working on it? They'll wait, and then when it's ready, they're ready too.
Yeah,
It makes it exciting for both parties. It's exciting for the
Exactly.
fans, exciting for the writer, because like you have people anticipating it and they're waiting for it, and that gets you excited. It makes you work harder.
Definitely, all the time. I'll get people who touch base with me and go, "Ralph, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Oh, thank you for asking." Because it keeps you motivated, keeps you moving forward. Sure. Oh man, it's just an amazing process. I just saw from Mark's face. He was holding up the comic, and that's just a beautiful moment.
It's the best feeling in the world. You can't describe it. You really can't.
So tell the people what your Cross comic is about. Explain the whole thing and why they should be excited for your next issue.
Okay, so The Cross is basically a science fiction noir story about a contra killer who finds out he's a terrorist in the alternate universe. And they travel to the alternate universe to find himself and save the world. So it's like a him versus the evil version of himself kind of story, which is pretty cool.
It's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun science fiction, because I've always been a big fan of like the alternate universes, time travel, all that kind of stuff. So try to like incorporate it into the story, and it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I know we've seen it at many conventions, especially at the Pronto booth at the cons.
Yeah, sure. Those are the days, man. I had a lot of times. I always see you and Mark walking around with your cameras, like interviewing people, taking breaks because you've been walking all day. Yeah, man.
Dude, man, you became the home base half the time. Then you would have
back to the here. It's okay.
Yeah, well, that too. But then you would have like an artist or a writer that was there with you guys at the booth, and we were like, okay, let's interview this guy. Okay, let's interview this guy.
Yep.
And a lot of the interviews we did were at the Pronto booth.
Yeah, sure.
With the people they were sharing the booth with.
Mm-hmm, sure.
I gotta admit, Pronto's done a lot of stuff, a lot to help the indie community make their books. Yeah.
Well, it's nice to be a part of something like that, because especially like with somebody that's very talented, they don't know exactly what to do.
Exactly.
And they need help, so you're able to help them, and you actually see them grow as an artist and as a person. It's a nice thing to see.
That's definite. And I know a couple of guys that have created their books with you guys, and you really helped them out. And now they're on their own and flying and doing their own thing.
That's the best part. Like you see them, it's kind of like watching a baby bird leave the nest. Like, oh, fly, little bird, fly, be great,
No, that's definite.
No, it's a great feeling. Like I'm so happy that I was able to help so many people, not just me, but like Pronto as a whole, able to help so many people get out there. And I met a lot of cool, talented people. And it's just like, that's the best part of this business. You meet the best people.
You do.
And they'll try to do the same thing that you're doing, which is great,
And one of the reasons why we started the shows is that, I wanted to have that feeling of when you're at the con and you're talking across the table, because, that's an amazing conversation. It's always a really geeky conversation. It's always fantastic. You either learn something, you geek out, you have fun, you crack up.
It's a lot of fun times, man. Like I remember, one time Pronto was setting up. Well, it was like New York Comic Con. It was years ago, and actually one of our tables broke while we are trying to bring it in. So Patrick's like, "Dom," he goes, "What? The table broke? What?" So then he runs over, and that Dominic, he's great because he's like the MacGyver of comic books. He has like a tool for everything. So actually fixes the table on the sidewalk while we're bringing it into the Java Center. It's freaking great.
Dude, it sounds like Dominic.
100%.
Yeah, it does. We'll get this. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out.
Man, I've seen so many makeshift things that he's done like on the spot. Is like freaking insane.
Yeah, some of your booths have been really creative, and that was just you guys figuring it out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, most of the time, the stuff broke before we got there, so we had to figure out how to fix it when the people come in. So okay, you move this, I move that. Here, get this, tie this together. It was fun. It's right. Makes you think on your feet. Good times.
Yeah, and I've been on both sides of it. I've been on the setup side of Comic-Con. I've been on the press side of Comic-Con. I've been on the help side of
Right.
I've been on the customer side of Comic-Con, and each one is totally different. It's a whole
Totally different experience. Like when you're behind the table, you you got to make sure your comic books are straight, make sure your stock is good, make sure your section is clean. When you're a customer, you get to walk around, but then you have to have to kind of map out where you're going, because if you just wander aimlessly, you're never going to get anything. You're just going to get tired.
I always tell people all the time that don't make New York Comic-Con your first convention, because you're gonna
that's like that's only you have to go have a couple of things before you go to New York Comic-Con. It's crazy out there,
dude. Nat over here, his first con was New York Comic-Con. I still don't know how he did it, because I get overwhelmed
it's sensory overload. It's like all the people, all the lights, all the sounds. It's too much sometimes, man.
I didn't even do one day. I did every day of my first New York Comic Con.
Man, listen, you're a trooper, man.
You're a trooper.
My first con, I was like freaking passing out. I was tired because it was my first one. It was like, because the thing is, even though I was like standing at a booth, it was like, I'm talking like hundreds of people every single day. It's like, it's a lot.
Dude, that shit, that stuff just makes it drains you.
Yeah.
I don't even think I told Ralph this, but every day of New York Comic Con, I came home with a box of just random free stuff. You saw the recent ones, but I would come home with actually filled boxes.
No. I remember that you told me this story, because I remember when Comic-Con was like that, when you actually would get a lot of free stuff.
Oh yeah.
Now.
And so like every single day, I would come home with a new box of just random stuff that I got.
Yeah, but New York Comic Con has changed a lot since COVID. Like the numbers are not the same.
No.
So remember, I was with
the people there alone
last year, and like it was like about maybe half of what they normally do, which is crazy to me.
Which is funny because it's crowded, but at the same time, it's not.
Exactly. It's the weirdest feeling in the world.
And like you can see there's a ton of people there. Then I was trying to, because I know exactly what you're talking about. And I was trying to figure out this year, because I was talking to Nat about it. I was like, okay, something's going on here, because there's people here. There's a crowd happening. It flows and it falls and it flows and it falls. And
the people weren't there for the convention.
I don't know what it was, but maybe it was a lot of panels. We're gonna have to ask Tony.
No, I don't even think so. It's people weren't there for the convention. I mean, for the most part, Artist Alley did okay.
Yeah,
a lot of people managed to make back their tables at Artist Alley, but like everywhere else, man, it was brutal.
And no, like especially on the big floor, like the main floor before you get to Artist Alley, it was like kind of empty, and like there wasn't a lot of traffic. So it was like you shell out all this money for a booth, and it's like you're not even going to make your money back. It's a rough feeling, man. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Especially the little indie section, that's where you guys usually are.
Yeah, small press. I prefer small press because it's like people know what they're getting into.
Yeah,
they want indie comics to go to small press because that's where all the indie publishers are.
Mm-hmm. But like the moment you're like not on one of the edges of small press, nobody's walking through your aisle.
Exactly. Yeah.
You guys, I know Pronto gets lucky usually because they usually have a corner.
Yeah, that's the best spot because you get like the traffic going from both sides and kind of like lure them over and get once you start get people talking and you lure them over, you kind of like have them take a look at your stuff. You probably end up making a sale. I
know Fat Guy Inc. were in a corner and they got swamped.
Sure,
they were overworked. They did really well the last New York Comic Con. And they should because they got great art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I gotta admit, as much as New York Comic Con is still it's funny now, it's still New York Comic Con.
I think they're actually, to me, because it's like I didn't get a pro badge this last one.
Right.
And I've been getting pro badges every year since 2012. So then I was talking to Buddy about it, and he was like, "That's crazy. Why would they give you a pro badge? You're here every year." I don't know. Like, it's weird. So then
we heard a lot of that. Yeah.
Buddy was like, "I'll tell you, if I get an extra badge, I'll call you up. You meet me down here, and we'll hang out." I was like, "Cool." So sure enough, the next day, Buddy calls me, "Hey man, I got a badge. You want to come?" What? I was down there so fast. You called me the Flash, man. I was there like 20 minutes.
I completely understand because that's what started happening with press. At first they were giving us the press pass, and then it was like, "We're not giving you the press pass," and I'm like, "What the hell?"
It's,
And it was like trying to figure out how to get into the con. I hit everybody.
From what I hear, is like all the people who handled like all the pro badge stuff, they left. So now it's all the people they don't know who's who.
Pretty
And
much.
it makes sense because it's like, why would you not give me a badge if I'm coming every single year?
Right. Because that makes you a grandfather.
Yeah, man. It's like, dude, I do panels every year. It's like you don't have the internet, you don't have Google, you don't see my name. What's wrong with you?
Oh my god. Yeah, you guys weren't there this year, right? As Pronto.
No, Pronto wasn't there this year, but I was hanging out with a buddy in comic book school this year. Who was like,
yeah, as soon as your buddy, I knew you were talking about. We saw him this weekend at Big Apple.
He was at Big Apple Con.
Yeah, we had a blast.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, we had a blast with him. He was there. He was hanging out. I thought he was going to be there Sunday, and I was supposed to go back Sunday, but that didn't happen. But he wasn't going to be there Sunday either way. So I think we have Buddy on the show soon, probably sometime either in the beginning of May or the end of April.
Oh, cool! Very cool.
I've been trying to get him on the show for a long time. I want to talk the art of learning how to make comics.
Yeah, no, but he's the guy, man. He knows everything. He's very, very smart, very knowledgeable. He's been in the business for a long time, too. That's why I respect him a lot. Because Buddy was in the business when I was a kid, like reading comics. He was actually making them. So it's kind of like, give him a respect,
I was just telling him, too, that I went back and looked at some old footage from, like, New Jersey Expo. Mm-hmm. Like, I already interviewed you ages ago, man. He's like, what? I was like, oh, I remember you. Because it's so funny. Because I guess I see him now as part of the school, and he was part of the school back then. But it was, I met him as Buddy,
right?
And he was like, "I'm doing this too as well," but I remember Buddy.
Right.
I was like, okay, and then I went back and I saw like one of the early. It's an old. I think it's from our first or second year of being Bitten Apple.
Right.
And we interviewed him. I was like, oh wow, look, I already interviewed Buddy ages ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, time flies.
Yeah, it really does.
I still feel like it's 2018.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like when you just if you really pay attention to like what you've done, like professionally, is like you like sit down, make a list. It's like you'll have like all these things as like because it means I really don't think about what I do. I just do it.
Yeah.
Then my friends are like, hey man, he's on this. You just did this interview with this person and that person. Like, oh yeah. Because sometimes you kind of forget.
Yeah.
Because it's busy like doing stuff like you don't really think about it.
It's like I know I did something with you, but I don't know when it was.
Exactly.
Yeah, it all blurs in, and if you don't
have it really does, man.
A record of it, you kind of lose track of the whole thing. Especially because if you're going from convention to convention, they start to all meld together.
It's like one big convention, yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the life of convention, people. What bugs me out the most is those people who are working the conventions. It's what they do. We do like one or two conventions and I'm exhausted. I can't imagine going from convention to convention, hotel to hotel, and doing whatever they do. Dude, that's tiring.
It is, man, because like the traveling alone will make you tired. Then you have to actually be a human being once you get there, actually talk to people and shake hands. That's a lot.
Dude, Mark left right now because he's about to start driving to C2E2.
Oh wow, yeah. C2E2. That's what, this weekend or next weekend?
Yeah, this weekend.
Got it. Yeah, a couple of people are going out there. I mean, I heard it's a good show. I always wanted to go there.
Well, it was a good show before COVID. I don't know after.
So far, from last year, it was still good. So, from at least what people told us already. Same thing with MegaCon, which I think is happening this weekend too.
Yeah, that's in Florida.
Last weekend.
This weekend. It hasn't happened yet. We have a couple people that are going to MegaCon, and they're getting ready for this weekend.
Any good things about that one too?
Oh, MegaCon is fantastic. We made it in, and then COVID happened.
Yeah,
so I had this whole trip planned to go to Florida, hit MegaCon, have some fun, have a little vacation time for the little Ralphster here.
Yeah.
No. Had a friend who was gonna put me up at their house and everything. I was like, okay, I was ready to go.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to do it again. There's less money now, so
yeah, for sure.
Oh man. So I see we're like at the mark here. Where can they find you? Give them all the stuff where they can hit you up.
Okay, great. I'm on Twitter. I think my Twitter is Mr. Knight Rider. I think, I don't know. Hold on.
I like that.
I'm an old man. I got to write down everything. Hold on.
I can tell we're from like the same generation.
Let me see. Yeah, my Twitter is Mr. Knight Rider. My Instagram is DEE Knight Rider. And my Facebook is Knight Rider, also the writing page. And I think that's it. I'm on TikTok, but I'm still kind of like playing with it, still like messing around with it. But my TikTok is Who is Dennis Knight?
Oh, cool. I'll look you up. I'm gonna do. I think I use TikTok mostly to make promos.
Yeah.
I go, and tonight check out the written. Every once in a while I'll do something silly, but yeah, it's mostly about making promos. And now everybody wants me to make the promo on their thing. Like Instagram is like make an original reel thingy, or YouTube is like make an original short. I'm like, look, people, because they don't want you to use each other's stuff anymore.
Yeah, it's a funny world.
Oh man. All right, folks, we were talking about Kat, and she has her Kickstarter for Like Father, Like Daughter. I think it's the last issue of the series. So you guys will want to hit this up. You can get all of them. It is a fantastic story. She does a good job crafting it together. Here we go.
Oh, that looks good.
Like Father, Like Daughter. The art looks fantastic. Damn. Dude, she's at 7,263.
Yeah, I just
our goal is 8,000. Yeah, 243 backers, 21 days to go. She always does really well with the Kickstarters, and of course that's why you should hit Kat up to do your Kickstarter. Right now, the cover I'm looking at is the homage to the Crisis on Infinity Earth cover with right here.
Very nice.
This looks fantastic. I'm like, I want that one.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Dudes, go check it out. Like Father, Like Daughter. It's doing pretty well right now. But of course, like we said, Kickstarters can always use your support. Even if they fund, they still need more money to make things happen. And most people aren't making money off a Kickstarter. What they're doing is they're putting their money back into their comics.
Right.
So folks, that's what you need to do. Support these people. Let indie comics happen. If you want DC and Marvel to change, your best bet is to support indies.
Very true.
No problemo. I feel you completely. I'm tired as hell.
Yeah, man, I'm an old man. Can't stay up late like I used to.
And of course, her partner Phil has his book Haunting, and it is a beautiful, well-written book as well. And let's see where he is.
That's great.
Let's see. Oh, there you go. There are 5,786. He needs to get to 9,000, but he still got 21 days to go and 215 backers. Dude, these people and their backers, damn.
Yeah, man, they're doing really good.
Exactly.
Really
close. I love the art on the Haunting books, and he does a great story.
Great. I love it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Look at this cover.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Look at these beautiful covers.
Oh, nice work, man. Definitely.
Oh, definitely. I like this one right here. Because who doesn't like a good Gravity Falls take on a cover?
Wow, this is great.
Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this. Folks, you guys will get some good stuff if you support this. Of course, they always have catch-up tiers to get the rest of the books, so you don't miss everything. So go do yourself a favor and check out Haunting, and make sure you check out Like Father, Like Daughter. They're both doing well, but of course they can use more of your support. They both haven't funded yet, so help them get to their funding. And just look at this beautiful art, man. Just amazing. I think that's everybody. Oh wait, Dime Store Detective. Can't forget Dime Store Detective. I love myself a good detective story.
Oh, I've seen it on Facebook. It looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, Dime Store is fantastic. I've got to read issue 1, and it does a good job of setting everything up and putting the mystery out there and alluding to the fact that there's something else happening. Something's different.
Oh,
Something
nice.
is there, because of course he has a supernatural twist to it.
Right.
There we go. The I Am Story Detective is at 2,467. He's already funded. Hey, look, it went up. It's at 2,462. 73 backers, 7 days to go. Keep helping him out. We always try to get somebody double funded, which means they get to their goal and then get them to 4,000. That way, you have the extra money to play with. And of course, like I said, they always put it back into their book. Nobody's making any money unless you're one of the bigger companies, and well, you already have money.
Exactly. Very true.
Yeah, Dime Story Detective is fantastic. I'd play the video, but the last time I played it, they gave me a copyright strike. But it's a fantastic story. I read it. If you like detective stories and if you like supernatural, this is right up your alley. Go check it out. Great art. Look at that. It's just beautiful. So do yourself a favor and go check it out.
Nice work.
I think that's everything. Yeah, that is everything. Mr. Nat, what do you got?
Just keep an eye out for Strange World Comics campaigns coming soon. Most likely, I've put it on my Facebook and then share it with everybody so everybody can see it. Yeah, that's what I'm excited for now. Hopefully, we'll get the first issue out very soon. Looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. I like Cross. Can't wait to see what you do next.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Nathan, what do you got?
No. Beautiful Mr. Jordan Hagar.
Hagar's horrible. I'm surprised he's not here today. I thought he was going to be here.
He has the other occupations procuring his time at the moment.
I thought he was going to be here talking about Animarathon and Dirk Manning.
Well, he got his little Derek Manning minifigure.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
He also got some beautiful pictures that cannot be shown on YouTube. And he got charms that also cannot be shown on YouTube.
Well, yeah.
And he was also in a monkey outfit. And that video may be being posted as we speak, or rather it is being edited by certain people, to which by the time he returns, it might show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I saw Hagar's pictures and his live video on the Bitten Apple page. You can go check both of those things out and see what happened at Animarathon. And what do we have here, Mr. Nathan?
That is a celestial bunny rabbit that controls the whims of dreams and corrupts the morals of men. The one who ushers in the new year but destroys that which is old, which reincarnates itself as the fears of either those who are loved and those who are hated. This is the Floofschmallow bunny rabbit.
Yes, Floofschmallow is an amazing artist. Of course, she worked with Bitsy Tandem to work on those pins that were Pokemon and Genshin put together, and boy, are they beautiful. You should check it out. Of course, her art is amazing. Beautiful work. Just go check her out. And I know she's working on things that we're not even supposed to know about, right, Mr. Nat?
There's someone's birthday in about a week that she is trying to finish up for.
Ooh. I'm looking forward to seeing it, if she can show it off, that is. There you have it. Floofschmallow, go support her. She's on Instagram as Floofschmallow. And, hit her up and commission her. She might do something beautiful for you, too. I know I'm still waiting for a little Hugbert piece that we were talking about.
You need to tell her, man.
I talk to her all the time. I remind her all the time. I think that is everything, folks. Oh, of course, make sure to check out Shadow Rabbit, because right now he's on hiatus, and of course we need to talk for him. So do yourself a favor, hit up Shadow Rabbit, get a commission.
No commission. He's still backed up.
I know he's still backed up, but go hit him up. He he likes getting all this stuff in there. Let's see what he has over here so I can show it off.
It should still be the Pokemon stuff that he was working on.
I think he was working on DC stuff the last time I saw the page. What am I doing? It's over here. Yeah, see? It did a nice little death stroke, but Shadow Rabbit does amazing work. Dude, this guy is just amazing. Look at his little Funkos that he did for our friend from Lunar Smoke. Yeah, he was actually fulfilling somebody's tier for their Kickstarter, because he's done that a couple times. He's actually has a tier on the designated to Kickstarter where you can actually get a couple of pieces from Shadow Rabbit himself. I think it's a $250 tier, and believe me, you want yourself a Shadow Rabbit. We have one. We're not going to give him up. Look at his amazing work. Yeah, so go check out Shadow Rabbit. He's on Instagram, and make sure you see Shadow Rabbit. You check out Floof Marshmallow, and I think with that we are done.
Yes.
Yes, we are. Okay. Of course, I'll do what I always do when we come to the end of the show. I'll press the button